item I'm looking to machine is it's the nut, and I do have it set up in the vise right now. It's upside down, and here's the drawing of the nut. So right now the part is 857 thousandths, needs to go down to 740 in height. It's 458, should be 413. And the length, it's a little shy, that doesn't matter. And I got machining some flats, some 45s, and of course to put in the quarter 28 left-hand thread. Let's flip to a quick video of grinding the tap for this. I had to relieve the tap so that it would go all the way through. So the tap's ready to be used on this tool, on this nut I should say, and I've opted to do something maybe a little different here. I don't know if it's a great idea or not. Here's the vise body that's completed and ready. So let me zoom in here a little bit. So what I've elected to do is put the nut in my my grinder vise here. It's on parallels, and I've gone ahead and checked it, and there's basically a thou difference across this way and 2 thou to the back. I did shim it here just to change it a little bit, and I think it's close enough for what I have to do. But I think, at least starting here, I have two choices. I could have removed this piece and then go ahead and cut the flats here that need to be done, or make this flat here. Or my thought is to keep this piece, it's just waste, and go ahead and machine it so that I can use it as a fixture. I have a center line marked here, and I have a center line, so I have my center lines all set up, and everything would work off a center. So I'll bring you back a little bit. I'm not going to show machining this off, it's just standard milling, and we'll get at that point and decide if I'm going to keep it or if I'm going to go ahead and remove it the complete way. Here's a quick little handheld update. As you can see, it's not in the previous setup. That was a failure. It just didn't have the grip strength, and I screwed up, and I should have had some cardboard in that other setup. But this beautiful end mill bit and pulled it, made a mess. So put it in the vise. I've already got the width side to side in the Y down to 625, and these red marks here will end up at 625, so I'll have a 625 stub to hang on to, and planning on putting that in a 625 square collet. So bring you back again, but just a quick little update of where it's at right now, handheld here. Just a quick handheld here to show you that I got the 5/8 square machine there, and we'll get it set up in the collet and see if it was a good idea. Okay, just another quick little handheld here. As you can see, I have the nut sitting in the Kurt vise. It's sitting on a parallel, and it's on the 5/8 piece that I machined. The idea of putting it in a 5/8 square collet was a failure. So I've gone ahead and decided to still stay with this stub. This allows me to machine the sides of it and this top, all the faces. So I'm going to get started with machining. You see I have a wiggler in there. I was just double checking my center. I've already touched off on both of the vise jaws to establish center, and I'm back on center where I was. So I'm going to get started with the machining of it. Excuse me. We'll dust the sides to get started, and then go ahead and get these flats cut in here. So we'll bring you back. I'm not going to film the machining, but we'll bring you back and give you updates as we move on. To locate the center prior to drilling, this photo shows a gauge block clamped onto the milled surface. The milled surface was not wide enough that I could get the wiggler in there to check it for dimensioning. So put the gauge block there, and then I could touch off in the gauge block, move over the 100,000ths, and then move down to what I need to. So this worked out really well for finding center. Well, we've done the layout, and I think it's ready to drill. So we got a 1/4-28 left-handed tap, and for a 1/4-28, a #1 drill for 50% thread is what's called for. So that's what we're going to go in with. Don't think I had the drill extended far enough. I'm going to reposition here. It's going to be a long tap. Okay, as you can see, I got a much longer drill bit there. I thought the little short stubby would make it, but nope. Only missed by about 1/4 of an inch, so we're through. So now get the tap set up, and we'll see if we can get this thing tapped left-handed. Well, Bozo almost got me. So if you notice, the drill in prior to this one was a black drill. I reached into the drill set, pulled it out, drilled the hole. And luckily when I went to set it back, I said, let's double check and make sure it was a number 1 drill. Well, it wasn't, it was a number 2. This one is a number 1. So I would have had tight clearance down here at the bottom. Wouldn't have been good, probably would have snapped the tap. Hopefully I will not snap the tap. So no bozo, no Charlie. All right, let me get that tap set up. So this is the tap that I ground the shank down here so that it'll go all the way in. I'm basically going to have to tap all the way to the square to get it to go all the way through and get past the taper on the front of the drill bit here, or the tap. I'll get it started. Okay, I'm getting started. I'm not going to let you watch. It's going to take a while, and I got to make sure I'm going backwards, left-handed. Which, right? Left-handed, that way. Okay, bring you back. Well, success. I made the tap get all the way to the bottom. I can't go any deeper, and the taper portion of that tap is all exposed underneath. So back it back out of there, and success. I thought I'd mention I was using a tap guide. This is Fisher Machine Products, and it's called the Micro Tap Guide. But a lot of guys may not know this. Is your tap guide. There's a set screw on the back side. You can pull the set screw and you can pull this plunger out. This side has the cup for it. This tap has no center point, so the cup will follow that radius there. If you had the point, basically just pull the set screw out and flip-flop this and put it back together, and then you have the point for following a center. So I thought I'd just share that. I think most people know that, but I thought I'd mention it. This is another one that I have. You can see it's case hardened. This was made by my friends Philippe and Pierre up in Canada. They really don't do much YouTubing these days. They also, just great friends. They built this hammer. Just one of my most prized possessions in my shop. Quick story. One of the deals was that you had to test this hammer on as soon as you got it. And so me being a wise guy, I made another Delrin cap for it and split it, glued it together. And then I said, okay, I'm going to do my first test, and whack, and the thing exploded. I had Pierre and Philippe probably crap their pants, but then I explained what I did. But oh, I love this hammer. Oh, it's my prized possession. But anyway, they made this and sent it to me. And there you can see the spring, and there you can see the reversible end. This one has a beautiful cup on it. Probably should have used this one. But just a beautiful tool that they built and sent to me. Really appreciate it. So just a quick shot to show you where I'm at. So what I have left to do is there's 45s that have to be cut on here, and I need to clean off this guy, and this whole bottom needs to be cleaned off, and take this to its final dimension this way as I clean the bottom. And then the only other item is I need to get into where the ball sits and clean that seat up and do that also. So that'll be relatively easy. I can still use the 5/8 peg that I left on here to set that for the right angle. I think it's a 45-degree angle. I can get that, and then I'll have to put it in another vise so I can set it sideways to cut it. First go ahead and get it to depth, and then cut the 45s on it. But so far so good. Well, you just saw the video of cleaning up where the ball will ride on the vise, and that worked out well. And my idea of leaving this waste piece on here and using it for a holding fixture, I think had a lot of merit. It worked out well. Now, so the next thing right now is to go ahead and bandsaw all of this material off, put it in the vise, deck this to its final height, which I kind of got marked over here. I'll have to mic it to get it right. And then there's a 45 on each wing that needs to be cut. You can kind of see that I kind of marked it there. Bring you back. When I went to machine the second side, I realized I had nothing to bite on. So here I'm showing you the use of a screwy ball. I have the screwy ball in there against a piece of copper, pressed up against the jaw. And you can see in the view here, we get on the side, there's a very little land that the unit is sitting on, that parallel. So it worked out really well. Nice strong hold in the machine vise there. There you get a good look at it. There was not much there to bite on. So it was a good use of the screwy ball, and glad I have them. I'm machining the underside of the rails there. By machining the underside of the rails on the vise bed, I'm raising this up to get alignment.